We want to say hello to everybody out there in radio, TV, internet, and Facebook land. You know, here we are again, coming to you with a show wherein we're trying to impart information to the community. But today, we probably are going to talk about one of the units that's the most important one, I think, and not many people would disagree with me, in our society. That's the family.
That's right.
That is the family. So we have with us today Sister Roberta Trepper, you know, who's the director of the Family Advancement Ministries here in Macon. And here again is another entity, a resource entity in our community that's available to assist families with many of the problems which we are having. So I'm happy to have Sister Trepper with us today. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you. How are you?
I'm outstanding, and thanks for coming. Talk a little bit about yourself before we go into the details of the ministry.
Sure. My name is Sister Roberta Trepper. I'm a daughter of Charity, which is a religious community of sisters, and we serve those who are in need throughout the whole world. We have sisters in 94 countries throughout the world.
Wow, wow. And you are responsible for this one in Macon.
Right, I'm the director of Family Advancement Ministries here in Macon. I've been here almost 3 years now.
Well, welcome to Macon.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. So let's talk about Family Advancement Ministries. I'm sure that there are a lot of individuals who are familiar with the ministry and what you're doing, but there are a lot of people probably who are not.
Sure.
So let's just talk about the ministry, its concept, its mission, and some of the specific programs and activities in which you are involved.
Family Advancement Ministries is a social service agency serving families with children aged 6 or under, or women who are pregnant. And through a combination of direct services and life skills education, our goal is to help empower families to be more self-sufficient. So some of the direct services that we provide are financial assistance for those facing eviction or utility cutoff, material assistance for some of those things that just really add up when you're on a tight budget, the diapers, wipes, clothing for the children that they seem to outgrow in no time, car seats, some of the other safety items that new moms will need.
Wow. Wow. So now if the individual the female is pregnant, now it has to be a single parent, a single...
Not necessarily. You know, we would love to have the whole family or whatever support system is involved in that family. Not too many of the guys come, but they are more than welcome to.
But the person can be married or have a significant other and still receive the services.
Sure.
Oh, that's really phenomenal. But then in order for the children, you know, they're 6 and under.
Right.
Yeah. Now, what other kind of services do you provide, you know, for those families?
Right. We kind of link our direct services with life skills education, just really to help people raise their awareness or to educate them about maybe different decisions that they can make. So our classes, we have prenatal classes to help prepare the mom to welcome the baby into this world and care for it properly, and then care for herself too. You know, she has to take care of herself in order to care for the baby properly. Parenting classes and personal finance and budgeting.
Let's talk a little bit about parenting, you know, because I think that this might be a vacuum. I think that, you know, the lack of proper parenting, you know, contributes significantly to many of the problems that we're having with our young people today. You know, even educators say, well, it starts at the home. So what kind of exercises, if you please, that a participant in the parenting class would go through?
Our parenting classes are based on the Nurturing Parenting program. So we'll cover everything from feelings to self-esteem, other things to help the parents to kind of understand the child, because the child isn't as mature as we are as adults, and it's things that, yeah, we may know of here, but we need to be reminded of sometimes. So as during the course of the class, we may discuss just what it takes for us to to be, what kind of parent would you like to be? What kind of hopes and dreams do you have for your child? And sometimes, for someone who is in constant crisis mode and trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of this and trying to take care of that, often don't really think ahead, really into the future.
Right.
So just to really encourage the parent to think of, where do you see yourself and your child, your family in the next month, in the next year, and how can we make positive things happen?
Right, right.
So,
I believe a parent trying to call you, trying to call you already. Well, that's very, very significant. Now, what about the cost structure? Is there a fee, for participation?
There is no fee. For our classes, all we ask is that people call to register. Our site is actually just an old house right down here in Macon, so our classrooms are the old bedrooms, the old dining rooms and such. Sure. So we do have, limit the class to 10, 12 max. So we just ask that people either call to register or they can go to our website and register online.
Yeah, that's extremely important. The other thing that you mentioned, and we don't need to spend a lot of time on it, but I think I see too many examples of the improper use or non-use of car seats. Talk about that for me.
That's a big problem, not just here in Georgia, but all around the United States. Statistics show that 75 to 90% of car seats are installed or used incorrectly.
Wow.
Right. it's scary. And we've had a few car seat safety check events where we'll ask the parents to come through with the car. We'll take a look at the car seat, check the condition of the car seat, make sure it's not expired. Believe it or not, they expire. Yes. And so we'll check.
As the child gets larger?
Not just as the child gets larger. Yes, a child can outgrow the car seat, but think about how a car seat is made. What's it made of?
Metal?
Plastic. Right. And how hot does it get here?
Very.
Okay, so when you have extreme temperatures, what happens to the plastic? It starts to get brittle.
Wow.
So car seats do have an expiration date.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm sure that, but if in fact, while we're on that, one would want to find out about their car seat, because I'm sure everybody's concerned about their child or children, then they could just come through and your ministry will perform that function for them?
We will. We have 7 nationally certified child passenger safety technicians. So we've gone through a lot of training to know the ins and outs, not just of the different car seats, but of the vehicles themselves, the seatbelt system, the latch system, airbags, where in the car to place the car seat. There's a lot that goes into it.
Wow, that's very good to know. Now, do you have any testimonies or any scenarios that you would like to talk about as it relates to maybe some activity with your agency? That, they say the proof is in the pudding.
Right.
So.
Right, there are many stories. Well, one story first I'd like to share is about car seats. One of our board members adopted a little baby about a year or so ago, and of course, as many new parents are very nervous, want to do the right thing, keep the baby safe. So I was talking to him, we were just standing on the sidewalk, and I was talking to him about the car seats and explaining about, how the rear-facing car seat, or rear-facing position is actually the safest position for the child, to keep it rear-facing as long as the specs allow. And how to get
so that means the child is looking at the back seat, right?
Right.
Okay.
For the child from infancy through about 40 inches, 40 pounds, can go rear facing.
Okay.
And all the specs are on the side of the car seat, so
Right.
so people can check that out.
Right.
A lot of parents like to have
No, but
the
I'm
child
just saying,
forward-facing
rear
so they can
facing,
see.
you know, the child faces the back of the car.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and it's at a particular angle that is actually almost cradling the child,
Right.
so that in case of an accident, you know, the head's not going forward, and you know, as it is, the neck is not as strong as ours are.
Right.
You know, the bone structure is still forming.
Right.
So I was explaining all this to this gentleman, and a neighbor just happened to walk by, hear our conversation, and said, you know, yes, she's right. He had been driving along the freeway, it was really rainy, stormy, and he hydroplaned, spun around, and as soon as the car came to a stop, you know, he kind of caught his breath, and he turned around to check out his kid in the back seat, which was in a rear-facing car seat, and the kid said, "Wait, that was fun!" He was perfectly safe and was not bothered at all
Right.
by this hydroplane and spin. So it's really important to have that car seat in securely and correctly, and like I said, for the little ones, rear facing is as long as possible. But then once the child is forward facing, the harness really holds a lot of the body securely.
Well, what about other programs and activities that are scenarios that you would like to discuss?
Okay, sure. In our budgeting class, one of the exercises that Rena, our education coordinator, asks the students to do is to write down every single thing that you purchase in a matter of 6 weeks. So, you know, you pay a bill, you write it down. You buy food, write it down. Buy clothes, write it down. Buy lunch, write it down. Everything you write. And this is just to really raise people's awareness of their spending throughout the course of a month. And once you take a look, you can see what your needs are versus what your wants are. And there's one client who had like 4 kids, and during the course of the school year, they wanted some ice cream after school every day. So $1 per kid per day for ice cream. And she started writing this down. Well, let's do the math, right? 4 kids times $1 a day times 5 days in a week times 4 weeks in a month. How much is she spending on ice cream?
$80.
Do you spend $80 on ice cream?
No.
Okay.
$80.
So again, raising the awareness, and it's not about depriving anything. You know, it's about raising awareness and thinking about other options.
Right.
You know, what are some other ways that we can let the kids have ice cream after
Yeah,
school?
well, you know, you could get some shaved ice and some syrup.
Or, you know, get a carton and bring it home and eat it together.
Right.
Same thing with, you know, cans of Coke.
That
You know, how much does a Coke cost in the machine?
Right. Yeah,
Versus
right.
buying a case and keeping it in the refrigerator.
So you're really designed to do not only a lot of assistance, but also a lot of education and educating, you know, that will help the affected population do that. Now, let me ask you this. What about, you know, are there any qualification guidelines for clients that you can serve?
Besides having a child at age 6 or under, or being pregnant, we do have a service area, and that is Bibb County and the counties surrounding it. We don't do Hudson County. There's a Christian service organization that serves that. So rather than duplicate services, so we have Bibb. See if I can remember all the counties. Jones, Peach, Crawford, and I don't remember the others, but it was like the hub of a wheel if you take a look at the county map.
They can always call and see if
Right.
kind of qualified. So there are no financial
For financial
parameters, you know,
for
individuals
financial
that you can
assistance,
serve.
right? For financial assistance, if people are facing eviction or utility cutoff and need financial assistance from us, they do need some sort of income, whether that's from employment, whether it's child support, whether it's Social Security, some sort of income.
So if someone gets an attack, however, that has a job and just trying to get over this hump, then you all can assist them. Yeah. Well, what about, you know, a person's income, you know, who's got a 6-year-old child? You know, is there a limit to how much? Suppose there's somebody out there who's got income and don't need any financial assistance, but find themselves in need of the car seat feature or some of the training. Then do they qualify to come to your ministry?
The classes are free and open to anybody.
Anybody.
Right. The education, it's all about, our tagline is helping families move ahead. So even if
any family, and all families.
Right. Even if families have a decent income, you can always move ahead. You can always improve yourself. And sometimes the families who have decent income, a crisis can come up. A medical crisis, that can put you in the poorhouse real quick.
That's absolutely true. Well, what about any other program? I mean, I just find this very interesting. And there again, sister, you know, this is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Haversham. We got so involved in these services until I guess I need to let the people know who we're talking to, those who were not here initially. This is Sister Roberta Trepper, who's the director of the Family Advancement Ministries. And they provide just a myriad of services to the community, particularly families. So there again is another resource. And then there is no income limit, you know, if you're in need of their services, because she just mentioned that they want to help all families. And their mission is to positively affect the most important unit in our community, which is the family. So are there other services that you provide that I'm sure our community will be interested in?
Right. We also have a Hispanic ministry. So in addition to what I have already described, which is also available to the Hispanic community,
right,
we also provide ESL classes, so they can learn to speak English, citizenship, to help them prepare to become citizens. There's also a kind of a class that I'm pretty excited about. It's called Plazas Comunitarias, and that's for those who did not have the opportunity to go to or finish their primary or secondary education. So this is a program that's recognized through the Mexican consulate, where they can study all these basic subjects in Spanish. So this is a language that they are familiar with, comfortable with, and get their basic education with the hopes of moving ahead to go towards ESL and citizenship and so forth.
Yeah. What does ESL mean?
English as a second language.
Oh, English as a second thing. I learned something there. Where is the facility located?
We have 2 sites. One is at 570 High Place, which is right around the corner from us here. And that's
incidentally, we're here at the Ruth Hartley Mosley Women's Center on Spring Street. You know, I don't think I really give this center enough credit, but this is the base for a call to action. And while we're on it, I want to give a shout out to Ms. Jerry McCord and the board for allowing us to tape here. Now let's go ahead and talk about your location.
Okay, so at 570 High Place is our direct services location. So that's where if people make appointments to come for the financial and material assistance, they would go there. And our life skills education site is at 538 Orange Street, which is right across from the Washington Library. But people do need to call to make appointments, even for the direct services. And during the phone interview, we'll make sure that that the person qualifies and that they have all the documentation and everything that they need to be totally ready for their appointment when they come.
Can we give them that number?
Sure. The number to call for direct services is 745-7165.
745-7165. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Haversham. Having interviewed Sister Roberta Trepper of the Family Advancement Ministries, or Ministry?
Ministries.
Ministries. that's playing a phenomenal role in our community. And we want to thank you. We really appreciate the services that you and your agency are contributing to the community. And when I get a grandchild, I'm going to come and let you put him in a baby seat.
I will be more than happy to do that. But you know what? I'm going to have you put the baby seat in the car. It's important. It's important that the family knows how to do this.
That's correct.
You know, I can show you. I can do it. But then you're going to turn around and do it.
I stand corrected. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.